I am the Commissar, that's my name. Forged alliance forever, that's the game. And who have we got today with a claim to fame? Today, no fewer than 12 players are duking it out for their right to survive, I guess. We have a 6v6 custom game on this 12.5k map, which we'll look at in just a moment. The North team in the north and the South team in the south. So, for the North team, here on the flank, this is AFKM, who I think I'm just going to call A. He's 1300 rated, he's Seraphim, he's in purple. Next to him, this is Osiris, who is 700 rated, who is Eon, and who is in baby blue. Moving on down here, this is Phong, who is 1600 rated. He is Seraphim and he is in Mountain Dew green. This is Zardos, who we saw quite recently. He is 1100 rated. He is Eon and he is in mauve. Down here on the opposite flank, we have XBOCT 500, the highest rated player for the southern team at 1700. He is UEF and he is Cyan. And at the back, in the air position, this is RGBVCMG, dearie me, who is 1000 rated and who is UEF and who is in pink. Let's go and meet their opponents on the southern team. Down here on the flank, this is Play Too Hard, who is 1200 rated. He is Cybran and he is in burgundy. Next to him, we have Marak 2014. Marak is 1000 rated. He is UEF and he is in brown. Already sauntering quite a way forward there, we can see Alex, who is 1300 rated. He is also UEF and he is in dark blue. Moving on down and already even further forward, he's all the way up here, we meet Blazeroflasher, who we've also seen quite recently. He is 1200 rated and he is in Seraphim. He is playing in yellow. On the other flank, also the highest rated player for the team, we have XBOCT, who is 1700 rated. He is Cybran and he is in orange, and last but not least, here in the air position at the back, this is TrigramForHeaven, who is 1000 rated and he's UEF. He's playing in white, and we've also seen him recently under the name of Rosencaster. So, first thing we see about this map is that it's got a little face. Look, the eyes have little pupils, the nose, wide open mouth. There's a sort of moustache there, maybe, I don't know. But Reclaim is pretty evenly dotted around everywhere, so lots to pick up, but no real focal points to immediately go for. And these mexes spread out here in the northwest and in the southeast are definitely going to be fought over, and speaking of fighting over them, look at this, we're picking up engineers here already, engineers and mexes. We've got Selines out here and here for Blazer, we've got Perza Labs in the Scout here for XBOCT, but they're not going to be allowed to wander for long, though they're getting some decent kills. This tank picks up these two, and this bomber picks up this group. Will they get another mix before the bomber catches them up? Let's find out. Looks like no. So, Kampf responding quite well to the raiding. Though this Celine is going to get another engineer of Zardos, which is pretty nice. And these Celines have got quite significant kills. That's 3 kills for this little fella here, and 1 for his accomplice. And they're probably going to get that mech too, because I don't think Phong will get there in time. Phong, meanwhile, has dropped here and here, which is pretty nice, but Marak is not letting it go uncontested. He's putting a factory up using edge build with his comm. However, this point defense which Phong has put up easily ranges it. Immediately Marak goes for Lobos to counter it, but he's going to have to be careful about the gather, because he tries to move it back, but it just gets shot. I think he needs to gather out this way so that it doesn't get immediately shot, if he's got time to build another. Gun upgrade here on the way for Zardos. I think that's the first gun upgrade, or any upgrade, that we've seen. so far this game. Couple of bits of bomber harassment here for Frost against Kampf, and vice versa. Kampf is repaying the favour down here, and this bomber's got a decent number of kills. He might also pick up a mech here with this striker. If he moves it a little bit, nope. Frost has a bomber coming in, which will probably deal with it, and it does. So some of these levels are getting out and surviving, and they have taken out that point defense, but Phong has just put up another, and he's also got artillery of his own and tanks. I think that Phong will hold this, so it might cost him a little bit. Looks like there's a spam fight setting up to happen here in the southeast, but I think this was a mistake from Kampf. Kampf has gone all the way down here and has started on the gun upgrade. Now, your comm is your slowest unit, basically, and so having it all the way out here, i.e. far away from the likely lines of attack, and therefore unable to come and support against this spam, means that the spam from Frost and Blazer is going to get more work done than it has any right to. Especially given that he's locked himself in position here with that gun upgrade, and he knows he's not going to get any help from Zardos until Zardos finishes that upgrade. A has paused his upgrade because he hasn't got the power to afford it. Oops. But he's trying to get the gun, whereas Play remains naked. And is that the same trouble for Kampf? Yes, look at that. Kampf can't afford his upgrade. And as a result, he is just stuck here, achieving nothing, doing nothing, letting this spam push in from Frost and Blazer. Which is not to say that he hasn't got spam of his own, and he is holding it back, just. Zardos has the gun upgrades for Eon, and he's getting the advanced range upgrade as well. I mean, if you're going to go the whole hog, you may as well go the whole hog, I guess. Quite a good push up from Alex here, and Marek has come all the way forward and picked up this mechs. So, definitely trying to contest this area, and Phong, is everybody having power troubles? Yeah, look at that, Phong can't afford his upgrade either. He's going for T2. So, definite bit of power mismanagement from basically everybody on the North team there. But I suppose that the power is being sunk, or here, there's going to be no overflow from RGB, well, he's on his way to Tech 3. Looks like Trigram is a little slower on his way to Tech 3, but he's only got one pigeon. He must be relying on overflow, and he's on the edge, but he's quite well balanced. He'll probably be fine. Spam goes back and forth here, but with their upgrades finally done, these comms are penciling in here. Frost doesn't have any upgrades yet, and I think Blazer has T2, so 2 gun comms will be a formidable force to be reckoned with. But A has also finished the gun. He's coming in. He's got some spam here. This looks like more than it is, because this production, this is on its way to T2. This is also on its way to T2. So there's no actual production here, and this could be a bit dangerous for Play. Now, we mustn't lose sight of this, where the comms are coming in. Turrets up to defend and lock down this sort of central bit between the eyes for Alex. But this spam isn't reacting. Play is just falling back. I think Play's going to lose quite a lot here. And these factories on which he's invested quite a lot of eco may just be destroyed. Though if this goes on, that may be the least of his worries. He's outspammed, he's outgunned, and A can just push in. Zardos and Kampf have met up, have been supported by their spam. That's a lot of spam from Blazer and Frost. And Frost is quickly throwing down the gun upgrade. But this is where we're going to have to pay attention. Attempt to do a factory block there from play, but he's not far enough away that it's going to work, and A just keeps on firing. Another attempt at a factory block, but he's not doing that too well. And another, he's not going to give up. A bomber comes over from A to help out, and play is deep into the red. And I think it's time to watch his demise. Bang! There goes A in a great big ball of fire. Meanwhile though, this engagement has commenced, and both Zardos and Kampf are surrounded by the spam from Blazer, and Frost not only has his comm, not only has spam, but also has gunships which are focusing down Kampf's comm. All their spam is dead. This could be trouble. Quick look up here where Alex is pushing in with a not insignificant T1 force, but there's T1 being produced against it. There are Ilshis coming this way from Phong, and I'm more interested in what's going down here because Zardos is taking some quite severe damage. In fact, he's down into the red. If these gunships came over here and focused Zardos, they might kill him, but they're more interested in Kampf, who is still in the yellow. And Zardos, with his extreme range, is now probably able to defend himself and fall back. We can see him regenerating quite a bit there. He's nearly on his second veterancy, which would be nice. Kampf, already on his second veterancy, is falling back. These gunships continue to tickle him. Up here, this push has been destroyed by turrets thrown up quickly by Osiris, by Ilshis from Phong, and it's just gone through here. So it's killed a few mexes, but it isn't getting a great deal done, and this bomber is probably going to finish it off. However, Frost has brought his comm in. Kampf has run quite some distance away, and Zardos, back up into the yellow, has come forward again. He does outrange the comm of Frost. And Frost gets him back into the red, but Zardos is able to retreat. Not happy with his low health, Kampf is going for the nano, and he's getting spam to surround him. He's backing himself up with bombers to drive away the spam. Good overcharge there from Frost. And Blazer joins in to keep Zardos on his toes. Frost, meanwhile, has sent round his spam to clear up these mexes that had been taken over by Kampf. And so now neither team has these mexes under their control. Slight advantage to mexes under their control to the northern team there, but southern team has the better eco by with a lead of about 30. Zardos falls back a bit and just stands back. This spam folds around and comes in towards Kampf, but Kampf is probably going to get that nano down. He's got engineers building triads behind him. We had a strat out there from Trigram, but it got taken out by ASF from RGB, but in doing so, it looks like Trigram has won air in the process. But back down here, where we're going to have a look at this battle, which has been non-stop. Look at this. Frost is forced to fall back by a bunch of pillars from Kampf, and Frost is actually driven down into the red with 2300 hit points remaining. Blazer comes in, he's got T2, but he hasn't got the gun, and I feel like that's something he really needs. Especially now that Kampf has nano. In this fight, Kampf just wins, no questions asked. This is quite good though. Phong has noticed that Alex has fallen back. In fact, he fell back during all that due to a trickle of auroras coming across here from Zardos. Zardos has stopped that pressure, but Phong hasn't, and his mobile missile launchers might do a good amount of damage here with Ilshis to support against these tanks. Meanwhile, Blazer has again fallen back, and there are bombs falling on Frost, and Kampf, with his nano, is pushing in, and he's driven crossed into the red. The bombs are driven away by ASFs from Trigram, but I don't think that's going to save him. Crossed explodes in nuclear fire, and suddenly we have 6 players on the northern team and only 4 on the southern team, and that doesn't feel so good for them, does it? Blazer is falling back, and he's wise to do so. He's got turrets to fall back to, and there is some spam from Crossfield base that Alex has inherited, but Kampf and Zardos might be able to get some work done. Watch this though. This is a broadsword in from Trigram, and it's brought Kampf down into the red. He does have a shield coming in, and he's going to dive under that. But he will almost certainly have to retreat, because this point defense is blasting away at him, and this broadsword, not sadly a whaler, otherwise the pommel would have been better, is wailing away at him, and he loses his power shield, and he goes down 16, 15, 14, his hit points dying. That broadsword needs to kill that shield, but it's not. It's just focusing a bit on the build capacity. I think that shield goes up, but doesn't go up in time. 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12. This power shield pops back on, and with its cover, Kampf sneaks in under the under the post shield. He's putting up railguns, unsurprisingly, but there are now 2 broadswords where previously there was only 1, and this could be a bit of a problem for poor old Kampf. That post doesn't have many hits remaining, now 3 broadswords, and with this ASF patrol from Trigram, there's going to be nowhere to come and save him. He's down to 100 hit points, 80. Good regen, bang! Kampf is out, and that helps to level the playing field just a little bit for the southern team, and these broadswords are not done yet. Zardos, who doesn't have the benefit of nano and doesn't have the benefit of a shield, looks like he's just fresh meat to the table for these broadswords. They focus him. One of them does go down, to be fair, but the other 2 make short work of him, and Zardos goes up in smoke, so we're quickly back to a 4v4 situation. Now over here, Phong had made some progress but hadn't really pushed in, and we've now got Ravagers up to defend from alexxx, who's managed to put one up in range of that at a force and immediately goes for the MML. Good choice. Tactical missile defense shields. alexxx should be able to hold this quite easy. Phong still has this plateau though. Tentative push with some bricks up from alexxx, but that 1 brick I don't think is going to get much done against all that point defense shielding and a couple of pillars. Massive Zuis forming in the middle of the lake for Blazer. Marek just content to turtle here. Blazer going for a naval yard. Now, as Seraphim, I'm expecting a nice big heap of cruisers to just pootle over here, and this is only a map of size 12.5k, so they can probably range a decent amount of this from that pond with their tactical missiles, so that could be a good play from Blazer, and it will also help secure the air that currently is definitely in the hands of the northern team, because after that excellent play from Trigram with the broadswords, it has allowed RGB to get the air lead. And these broadswords have just set down over here. They have driven Phong off this plateau, but they just landed. And they're being picked up basically for free by a bunch of inties. And they basically are. I mean, 2 of them dead, 1 of them heavily damaged. Those inties are going to die, but that was basically 2 free broadswords killed for the northern team. A little bit of pressure brought in by Alex to join Blazer's Zoes. One player should give the other player those forces so they can all push in, say, there or there. Looks like it's quite vulnerable. Several mixes they could just push in and smack. Sniper bots trying to pick off these unfortunate little missile launchers here. And indeed they get one. Now this looks like Alex isn't tired of waiting for Blazer. He's heading up here, and he might be able to get some damage done with these. I think he can probably get 3 mixes at least, 3 teachable mixes. His Riptides, however, are faster than the Percys, and they're just going on ahead, and they're probably just going to be shot up by that sniper bot. None of it misses though. If Mike rode well, the sniper bot does much better against Percys. Haha, look at this. ASF's dying to Percy fire. How often do you see that? Now, these boys should be able to do some damage, but we'll come back to them in a moment, because here, Osiris has dropped some harbs down here and is running around trying to see what he can do. These 3 disparate forces from the northern team, they need to join together and go in, because I think that if they go for it now, they can kill quite a bit down here. These Percys have killed that mech, they also kill that mech, and they keep on going. There's a chicken on the way from Phong, but I don't think that that chicken is going to be up anywhere near in time. They are grouping together, this could be good. Monkey there, nearly done for Malik. That'll be our first XP of the game, I believe. But this feels like it's been mismicroed. These boys have gone back, these boys are coming around here, and Alex can go and engage them separately. And then he'll be able to push back and sandwich them with this sort. Sandwich these boys here with this sort. So that feels like a micro error on the part of the northern team. They should have just given all those over to one player. Lots of T1 bombers massing here. I've commented unfavourably on T1 bombers at T3 being the new meta against primarily XBs, but it does have its moments. I'll give it that. Yeah, look at this. The southern team had no problem clearing up that load of stuff. So those Percys, they actually got 2 P-gens in Fong's base, and he is horrifically power stored as a result. And indeed, he says, "Someone give me energy." He needs it. Those Percys actually, they died to T1 bombers, but they got 15,000 massacred between them there, so they absolutely paid for themselves. Marek's first monkey pushes up here, and he's already got a second one on the way. Now, this naval yard is building a destroyer for some reason, not a cruiser, and it's taken a hit. Those, I think, are to blame. Those tactical missiles, but they didn't quite kill it. Unfortunately for Blazer, he hasn't got any T2 engineers around here, and so he can't put up any TMD. A has seen the monkey, but he's walking forward towards it. Does he think that with all this firepower and an overcharge he'll be able to take it? I mean, sure, he's done hefty damage to the monkey, but if it focuses him, he just dies. He is pung. The monkey focuses him. Poor old A just explodes, but in the explosion the monkey is severely damaged. Gunships come in from Phong and the monkey dies. We also have Harbies here from Osiris helping out, so A's dead, so's the monkey. But there's already a second monkey on its way up from Marek. The destroyer's out, but there are more tactical missiles on the way in. Why a destroyer? Why not a cruiser? I mean, I can see he's got some cruisers queued up after this second destroyer, but that second destroyer is not going to be finished because those missiles are going to take out that HQ, and he's got nothing to go for it. So this monkey has been rediverted. I thought it was going to go up here and try and get some damage done here, and now it's heading for the lake. I guess if it pops out here, it could get some quite good stuff done up here. Could kill some mexes, could go for Fong's base where those Percy's pushed in. You could even kill Phong if it's lucky. That fat boy though is nearly finished, so that's something that the southern team will have to watch out for. There's the fatty complete. Ooh, another thing to note, although it took quite a lot of damage in the explosion, is that Phong does have a T3 air HQ. So if he joins the Inti game, ASF game, then he and RGB between them will have a huge, crushing air advantage. RGB already has more ASFs than Trigram. Looks like that monkey is planning to do what I thought it would. So, with that amount of air superiority, if I were Phong, I'd be looking at an arse rusher. Do they have Cybran Tech? I do not. So, no Soul Rippers then, but I would definitely feel like an arse washer would be an excellent play here. This monkey has diverted over to this base, but I think that's a mistake. It's in range of the fatty. There's a huge army of Harbs and sniper bots here. And sure, it's killed a land factory. It might kill a mech or two, it's killed a mechs. But it's just being driven back. This might be a waste of a monkey. It's heading for the water, but I don't think it's gonna make it. Boom! That monkey does not make it and dies just on the water's edge. It does leave only half reclaim because it did get to the water before dying, but what is this? This is quite a big push from Alex. Let's have a look at that. Holy cow, 34 bricks, 17 purses. We're talking 350,000 hit points, 18,000 DPS. We've got like 3-4 megaliths of combat power right here. But it does have a fat boy to contend with. It does have a lot of point defense to contend with. The fat boy is correctly kiting. This army moving over here to engage the push coming out of the lake, while this army, well, this fat boy is engaging this army because there's nothing else really left. That one fat boy is nearly done, but I don't think it's going to get done in time. Meanwhile, air win for RGB, but he's got to be careful. There's a lot of SAMs dotted around. And do you see what I see? I see a YOLO under construction for Marek. Meanwhile, back here, good damage here. Several mechs taken out, a lot of units taken out. These bricks aren't going to catch that fatty though. Not with all of this firepower and that huge line of triads. Focusing that HQ might be a good idea. Osiris starting Tsar. I don't like that as much as I would like to see an Arse-washer from Phong. They're focusing the HQ, those bricks, like I said, but will they get it? I don't think they... Oh, it's going to be close. Nice, they do get it. Was not expecting that. Does he have one back here? He does not. So, no more T3 production for a while from RGB on the land, at least. But Fong's got a chicken. Blazer has rebuilt his naval yard and is again going for a destroyer first. Again. In fact, two destroyers first. Or was that destroyer the one that was already there? Anyway, he's going for another destroyer before he goes for cruisers. But Phong is pumping out chickens. I think we do need to see some cruisers from Blazer here. Osiris, meanwhile, has a GC. And that GC is just charging down here, but there's a lot of Ravagers to stop it, and this GC is completely unsupported. And it turns away. It's not firing on these Ravagers, it's not really firing on anything. This feels like terrible miss micro from Osiris. And look at that GC. What's it doing? What's it doing? It's gonna die if it keeps on doing that. It's picking all the wrong targets. And Osiris just backed it up. That chicken is heading for the water as the fat boy comes back forward from RGB. Does Phong have another chicken on the way yet? Well, yes, he's got one completed and it's only just setting out. The chicken kills the Destro, but now it's under the water so it can't fire any more. Now the Destro comes out and starts torpedoing it. That's a lot of Perseus. If they come out with the chicken, they could hurt it. There's also artillery here. That chicken has to be pretty careful about where it chooses to emerge. Also Othiums with torps around here. With these PDs around here and these Perseus chasing it, this feels like a mistake for that chicken. That fatty is pushing in and hasn't stopped in the face of these bricks. That fatty needs to kite back, and soon. The chicken is driven back into the water by the Percy fire. But under the water, there are Destros, there are Torp turrets, there are Othiums. And that chicken feels like it was wasted a bit. The GC from Osiris has just walked around the top here, but it's not going to get any more done there because we already know that Alex has a bunch of Ravagers here and he's putting up triads to assist it. Where's that chicken going now? It's trying to come out here, but it's going to get no more success there because there's heaps of Perseus everywhere. It's just going to walk out into Percy fire and die. Now, at the half-hour mark, I traditionally ask who's going to win, and you should tell me in the comments below. Here comes that chicken, by the way, and indeed, it's just going to get sorted by Percy fire. Boom. But there is another chicken here. The fat boy, meanwhile, has been trashed by those bricks. It didn't turn back fast enough. So, who's going to win? We are at the 33-minute mark. Tell me in the comments below. I won't know if you lied and cheated and went ahead, but you will. Southern team has a reasonably good eco lead, 1.7 to 1.3k, 400 eco per tick lead. That's pretty damn good. But Northern team just has a bit more map control, and it certainly has more XPs, and it certainly has air control. This Tsar This should be given over to Phong so that he can micro it with his Air Force, or possibly to RGB, but I would prefer Phong. There is now a cruiser out from Blazer, and it is firing on the Zar, but the Zar just smacks down the naval yard and turns back around to hit the cruiser. Now the Zar is going to be a problem to use here because Trigram has no fewer than 62 mexes dotted around the map, which is crazy. But this is a mistake. The Zar comes in and it's not supported by either of its allies' ASFs, so Trigram just gets to shoot it down for free. It crashes behind Blazer's base without actually killing anything, so that was just a free Zar wreck dumped on Blazer's base. Don't like that at all, I don't. How's that YOLO coming? About 50%, pretty good. We've got that chicken now here, and I'm sure Fong's got another one on the way. Yes, he has. In fact, he's got one here, so he's got 2 more on the way now. And we have got a chicken here coming up for Blazer, but it doesn't feel like enough against the amount of experimental pressure. And not to be deterred, Blazer is going for a 3rd naval factory in the middle of the lake. Okay, slight interruption there, sorry about that. Absolutely pro editing, you saw nothing. Let's have a look at how that YOLO's getting on. We are 63% done, which is pretty nice. But we've got more chickens pushing in here. We've got 2 chickens pushing in, and that could be a little bit of a problem for the southern team. I mean, sure, they're trying to reach up that Zar. This chicken is quite low on health already, and those aren't going to do anything about it, so never mind. There's Artie firing on this one. And there's a 3rd chicken coming in, so we're going to have to be worried for the southern team in this regard. And there's also quite a big army massing here from Phong, with more chickens adding to it. But what do I see up here? My dudes, that is no fewer than 19 strategic bombers, and I think you know what they're going for, because oh look at this, it's almost done. 85-86%. This chicken is forced back, and this chicken is nearly dead thanks to these banks of artillery point defences and a few Percys and bricks coming in. That one goes down. But there's yet another one coming in behind, so there's still 3 chickens alive for Phong. How can the southern team stop this? But right now, all eyes have to be on that YOLO, which is 94, 95, 96% done, and the strategic bombs begin to fall. At 96% done, the YOLO is thrown into oblivion, and sure, the strats will die, but 96% done YOLO. My dudes, that is painful. It's left 90,000 reclaim, sure, and I think they should put it straight back up on the wreck to Alex agrees. Meanwhile, though, we'll see about that when we see about it, because those chickens, of which there are these 4 available, are still pushing in, and there's less and less to stop them. Blazer is working on a chicken to counter them. Wait, that is Blazer's chicken. Okay, Blazer's got a chicken here countering them. But it's gonna go down if it walks sufficiently far forward. It does go down. That might be enough to mean that these Percys can get the kill, but I'm not sure. Meanwhile, that T1 bomber meta we spoke about, T1 bombers for killing experimenters. Certainly Trigram is trying it. I need Seraph, says Marek, who presumably does want to rebuild that YOLO. So these two chickens both died. One from Blazer, one from Phong. But Phong's got two more coming in with some troops supporting it, and there's now a fat boy behind them. That third naval yard up from Blazer hasn't been upgraded yet. And this is quite a dangerous force from Phong. Marek and Alex may need to fortify more around here to survive it. There's a Seraphim engineer being flown across to restart the YOLO. Holy cow, that must be reclaim related. Nearly 1,000 mass per tick lead for the southern team. That's mad. But they need to turn it into something. Now this immense firebase from Alex, which used to be Frost's main base, has driven back one of those chickens, but those Ravagers might outrange the chickens. They do not outrange the Fat Boy, and the Fat Boy is bombarding them, and those shields are just going down. They really need something to protect it from that Fat Boy, and he's trying to put up arty, but it may be too little too late. The never-ending tide of T1 bombers continues. Already back up to nearly 50% that YOLO, so rebuilding on the wreck is a good call. 2 chicks, says Marek, who has noticed that army massing in the north. But 3 chicks here, a Fat Boy here. 2 more chicks coming across the water. Lots of torpedoes are going to wear them down a little bit, but it doesn't feel like it's going to be enough. Osiris sending in another Tsar. Let's see if he managed it better than the last one. A couple of SCUs going up. Now this Tsar is again going in unsupported, and it's just flying over a bunch of SAMs, and this time there is some air support, but that Tsar just flew over stuff and died and didn't actually get anything done, and it was just a lovely little mass gift for Alex right there. The chicken push though, that's where we need to be focusing. 5 chickens massed together. Alex running away, Blazer running away. A few T1 point defences, that chicken just dies, doesn't get completed. Lots of T2 point defences, but enough to stop 5 chickens. Okay, 4 now, but even so. The Duke, unsurprisingly, just dies. Lots of Ravagers just dotted around Marek's base. Oh yeah, they might have felt like overkill. Now they feel like an absolute necessity. So that chicken down, that chicken about to go down. But these chickens are coming into Trigram's air grid, and has he got enough to stop them? This chicken's going to die to wave upon wave of T1 bombers, and also to these Ravagers. They really need to get that chicken focused down as soon as possible, but they're not. They're focusing this chicken. Dudes, my dudes, please kill this chicken. This one goes down, but the first hit on Trigram's air grid, and it looks like we might have to go to split screen. And here we go. In the north, the YOLO is done and is loaded. And it fires a defensive nuke over here. In the south, the air grid is under threat from this very badly damaged chicken, but that chicken's got 5 vets and it's recovering fast. The nuke smashes down onto the invading army, taking out a vast amount of it. of its spam, and it's taking out one of the chickens, but the air grid just goes up in smoke for poor Trigram, damaging Marek in the explosion. We have 4 comms here, all 4 of the Southern team comms, and this could be very, very bad indeed for the Southern team. That YOLO's just killed 75,000 mass, and it launches again. That chicken is dead, but the 2 others have survived. However, thanks to these Ravagers, they're going to have a problem pushing in without their spam. So, successful YOLO defense there for now, and it's nuking up here somewhere. Will it get through? There's a defense there, so I don't think it will. However, boom! The chicken destroys Marek. And I think Blazer might be about to be caught in the blast. Indeed he is. Nope, Alex is caught in the blast. Meanwhile, on this side we're going to see this next chicken push, which is running into Alex's Ravagers, and this fat boy is also causing trouble. The chicken has died, but it killed 2 of the comms here, and that has not turned out well for their poor old Southern team, who are now desperate to defend. Okay, let's go back to single screen. Another nuke out from the YOLO defensively fired against here. That feels like it might be slightly mispositioned. I don't think it's going to get a great deal of work done there. These chickens look like they're going to escape it. Those are the ones that were damaged earlier? Apparently not. And it only gets 10k more mass killed. However, the Ravagers are going to be able to defend against just the chickens. Arty-Bank firing on the fat boy, that will hopefully clear it up, but this eco is undefended, and it is likely that it's all going to die. And now let's have a look at the eco. Unsurprisingly, at last, the Southern team are not doing as... Oh, that's a bad position. That needs to be down here. Ha! And I think I think Marek agrees with me. Why are you not leading them? Why are you firing behind them? Osiris now also has T3 air, and he'll just take out... This is a T3 mech that's finally been rebuilt up here on the plateau. See, that got nothing. That got, what, 2,000 mass? Okay, maybe a bit more, but even so. Not enough to be worthy of that nuke. This fat boy has been taken out by RT, and there are now a lot of fat boy corpses down. Is that an attempt to hit up here? It is, but how's that? That's got enough loaded in it, and Phong has put up his own missile launcher here. So I think that will not get any work done. A huge wave of chickens now gathering itself together here. Do we have Arty to counter this fatty? We do. We have quite a bit. We have 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 pieces of Arty there. 11. Quite a lot of pinging trying to point out that the YOLO is loaded, and it fires again. Where is it firing?
Strategic launch detected.
It's firing over here. I do not like that. Either they should double down on here, which I think they would get through now if they did. And there were 2 SMGs there, that's not getting through. Or they should be firing into this mass of chickens plus the Colossus, which is just going to utterly trash this southern area. I mean, sure, it's got a couple of Ravagers and a couple of Arties, but that's not enough to stop this many chickens. Marek saying, use the YOLO, it's loaded.
Strategic launch detected.
He's doubling down over here, and this time he may get through, but my dude, that's not the place to be firing. Either here or here. Look, one experimental nuke here, and you would kill like an immense amount. This nuke could still save you the game if you hit the right things with it. And to be fair, they do still have a decent heap of eco. They're trying to rebuild the air grid, but that feels like a lost cause if this lot pushes in. Let's just check, just for a brief moment. That nuke does get through. 20 YOLOs on the field for Phong. 20. That is not an insignificant number of YOLOs. And they fire up here again. I think that Phong isn't loaded yet. This one's got one shot in it, and this one has none, and there's a load of defences here, but they're all not loaded. This could be pretty brutal. Could this be the way back for the southern team? Or is this going to be too much? The YOLO descends on the base, and it hits! Fong's air HQ goes up. A lot of Fong's base goes up. Phong himself goes up. Phong, the highest rated player remaining on the northern team, is defeated by the experimenter nuke.
Strategic launch detected.
And the nuke fires again. Where's it firing this time? It's trying to get more work done up here, but I'm pretty sure there's several loaded SMDs. One in that one in that one. Yeah, it's not getting through there. My dude, you need to nuke right here. Right here, come on. There's so many defensive Ravagers. Yeah, this attempt at an air grid is just gonna die. That nuke is trying to load. It's already paid for itself, sure, but this is where we have to be looking. It's loaded, my dude, please. And there we go, the closest range defensive nuke you have ever seen, but a wave of strats comes in from Osiris. The nuke explodes, and in the explosion, Trigram dies to the chain reaction. And Blazer is left on his own. The nuke lands, but enough of the chickens have got through, and enough of the strats have got through that Blazer also goes down. Boom! The northern team wins. That was quite the brutal ending. Do you think, my loyal viewers, that the southern team's YOLO could have saved them, or do you think that with those waves upon waves of chickens on the field, it was a foregone conclusion for the northern team? Tell me in the comments below. While you're down there, please remember to like, subscribe, and obey. I am the Commissar, and I will see you next time.